My boyfriend's a really he likes history and stuff, and he told me in 1848, the Feather River Gorge was where gold was first discovered from people back east, over on the New York side, and a man named John Sutter, who was a general in the army, told people to come over to the Sutter, not the Sutter Buttes, like to over to where the Oroville Dam is, and it's in the Feather River Gorge. I guess it's called Feather River because of the Indians, and it attracted the most people because of the gold rush. But where the spillway is and where the dam is the Feather River Gorge, where people used to mine for gold. And this man named John Sutter is a general in the army, and he told people to come out west, and that was the first place that mining was done, was in the Feather River Gorge, off the Feather River, off of that dam and off that spillway. Um, if anyone wants to know, 1848. So people came from back east to find gold there, and they said there's a in Sacramento there's a fort, and it was built by John Sutter, and it was set up so that the miners could still come up there and mine and get protection from the Indians, and they had the protection from the army from the Indians, and people were able to still find gold. And I live in Sonora, California, and there was gold mining here too, in the Woods Creek. So you could just look it up. I live right by a big creek where people used to mine for gold. So this is part. That's why it's called Gold Country where I live. And Oroville was the very first place to be mined out, and people came from back east, and they had to fight off Indians, and they built a fort in Sacramento to ward off the Indians and help keep the miners safe from Indians. So it's interesting, right? And then people say Indians are buried um, under that spillway, supposedly, which I find very sacrilegious. They shouldn't have built a spillway on top of uh, people's bodies. That's kind of messed up. So I guess if anyone has Indian ancestors or have Indian in their blood and it's related to that tribe that lived over in Orville, um, I guess you could look up the history on it and see maybe some of your ancestors are buried there. If they are, that's not cool. But we don't know for sure if there's people buried under there, under that spillway. But 1848, yeah, interesting. This, a man named John Sutter, general in the army, told people to come out west where I'm at and go to Oroville. Oroville was the very first. Oroville, I guess, means gold, but they came out there in 1848 to find gold in the Feather River Gorge, and they had John Sutter there to protect them from the Indians, and he came out there obviously for the riches too, and to fight off the Indians. Then eventually we got peace treaties and all that. So as Indians have the casinos, so they deserve it because they gave up their land and made a trade. So it doesn't matter. It all comes out in the wash in the end. So the only ones that have a problem with saying that we stole land or the white man stole land is the Democrats. And I happen to have a little bit of Indian, and I really don't give a shit. I have Alaskan Indian and some Cherokee Indian, but I have German, English, Irish, Scottish, all that mixed in, Danish, and then a tiny bit of Indian. It's so little that it doesn't even count. So, so 1848. It's pretty cool history lesson. My boyfriend is the one who knows about history. He knows about rivers and gorges and all that. So he's got all these maps everywhere. That's why I was able to take a picture of a map. He's got a heck of maps. He's got an old map of um, Paradise um, from the Forest Service. His grandpa used to be a forest ranger a long time ago. So up in the Willows area, Willows, California. So his grandpa was very knowledgeable in trees and water and how nature works. So that's why he's so knowledgeable because his grandpa taught him. And anyone knows where Willows, California, it's about 10 minutes away, I think, from Oroville. It's real close. So he knows a lot about the area and a lot about the gold because he does gold mine. He looks for gold up in the switchback trails over here in the areas near Sonora and Columbia, in between Sonora and Columbia. Uh, he tries to find gold, but never find it. It's really hard to get. But interesting, all right?